have to decide yourself, even beyond being with your Squire trainer, you have to decide, you'll be out on your own, so then it's your driver's license and your record. It's up to you to make decisions accordingly. I can't make those decisions for you.
Like a dream planted by the river, I just smile at the sun. Can't keep it down, cause we have to. Last nights under pressure, got a lot of my money. But with life,
I have a tendency to err most of the time in caution. For example, I don't speed, I don't tailgate. When people are traveling in clusters and fighting it out, cars and trucks alike, I stay way back, and I see other truck drivers, tailgating a car up ahead, they're speeding and they're driving the road recklessly, going in and out of lanes. I don't do that because they're doing it. You have to stay in your own lane, as they would say in personal development. Like, stay in your own lane. Well, it kind of applies with truck driving too.
the war is real. If we to call me a sinner, only judge I know my history. So we have to give the king glory. Like a dream planted by the
Okay, it is about 5:39. It's us here. Siri, can you tell me what time sunrise is in Klamath Falls, Oregon this morning?
In Klamath Falls today, sunrise will be at 6:12 a.m.
Siri, what time is it now?
It's 5:32 a.m.
Siri, how far is it to Seattle, Washington by car?
Seattle is about 403 miles away by car.
Okay, great. Okay, Siri, do you happen to know my location right now?
I don't have an answer for that. Is there something else I can help with?
Well, you're not perfect, but thank you very much for trying. What else can I ask? I'll talk to you later on. I talked to you about aliens before, and you had some really right-on answers to the question. Like, I asked you about what happens if we bump into an alien in Oregon on northbound 5, and you gave me the right answer. Siri, what happens if you pick up an alien on Interstate 5 going northbound, and it speaks its language, meaning that you can't understand it? What do you do?
Okay, I found this on the web for what happens if you stick a pig up an alien, then Interstate 5 going northbound it, and it speaks its language you can't understand. What do you do? Check it out.
Oh, so that answer.
I'm here to help. Get to know Siri at apple.com.
She's good. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna stop at the truck stop up here. Since I have approximately about 30 minutes before it's daylight, and I'm not really pressed for time on my 14-hour clock this morning, I'm gonna stop. So again, your trip planning, it can be on the fly. It's up to you. The main thing is, you can't blow it as far as your on-time delivery. You have to have that as a mantra in the back of your mind. If I stop now, it's going to mess me up. Look at me. Am I going to make a stupid decision? Just be aware. Just check things out. Even after you stop, when you're a grasshopper, double check yourself. I do this now, even to this day. I'll stop and go, okay, if I stop 30 minutes now, you're technically supposed to take a reminder. You're supposed to take a 30-minute break within your first 8 hours. So normally I don't take the 30-minute break this early. Often I will drive at least 3 or 4 hours. That's another whole thing. If you condition yourself to drive 4 hours and you happen to have a high value load where you're supposed to drive 4 hours in a row before you stop, you're kind of conditioned to do that. But in this case, I want to drive in daylight, and it's going to be daylight in about 30 minutes. I'm doing two things. I'm taking my 30-minute break, and it's going to be daylight when I start again. So you see what I mean? You just take all those things into consideration.
Jaja know my history. So me have to give the king glory. Like a dream planted by the river. I a smile at the sun. Can't keep it down cause we have to oversee.
So anyway, I know I'm not supposed to put other people's stuff on me, so my channel is not monetized, but I just thought it was an interesting synchronicity kind of thing that I happened to stop at this truck stop, and there's this tour bus.
Under pressure, got a lot of my money. But with life be without all the struggles of money. Can't sleep, so I sleep trees for peace of mind. I can't sleep, but these sweet dreams.
Talk about is that on the road, as a truck driver, we do see tour buses. I talk about that sometimes we're out here traveling and we see the tour buses. Some people we've never heard of before, so I just was curious about this, who this person was, you know, parked next to me. I just thought I'd call you, let you know I'm still out here.
You're still out there.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. We haven't talked in a few days. I just wanted to give you a heads up. I'm looking real good for the delivery tomorrow. In fact, I'll probably get in the area this afternoon. I'm only about 266 out right now, and I've been operating on recap hours, but I've done this enough that I took a different route because I liked the route that I took better. It was on the through Klamath Falls and the 58 to the interstate because it just was a better route. The other route they had was very rural, and I have a sensor on my radiator that keeps going off, and if I'm up in Portland, I might even have the shop check it out.
Okay.
But anyway, I just want to give you a heads up. I'm looking fine. I just have to decide where I'm going to stop, you know, how close.
Perfect.
And then you probably don't have any idea on the pre-plans yet at this, do you?
Nothing yet. Yesterday, I didn't really get a chance to reach out to Washington. That planner, they've been kind of underbooked, so it's been kind of like as soon as you get there, that's when we get the plans.
Gotcha. So that's what you have to do, because I don't know your part of your job, so it's nice for me to get a little education. So when I go to different regions, you have to talk to the planners in that particular area, right?
I'm sorry, you cut out for a second.
Okay, I'm just saying I don't know the inner workings of your job. You know, like when I go into the Seattle area, you have to contact the planners there.
Yeah. So, and especially with Seattle lately, the past couple days, they've been underbooked there. So, like any driver that gets there, they have to kind of wait and see what's going to be the best load for them. So once we, since you'll be there today, I'll let them know, like, hey, he's going to be there 12 o'clock tomorrow, right on the dot. He'll be unloaded by 1400. I need something for him now kind of deal, and they'll be able to plan you up, no problem.
Okay.
Just a couple days in advance is when planners kind of get iffy, especially if their market's futile or whatever it is, where it like fluctuates. So it's just some markets like Washington, Georgia, SoCal, they're very up in the air when it comes to planning, a couple days in advance.
Oh, no problem. No, I wasn't even expecting you to have something, to be honest with you. And if it really comes down, there's nothing, because we're just on operating. My recap hours are good, but if we really have to do a reset to reset our hours, I'm fine too. Because I think tomorrow after midnight, tonight, after midnight, it'll be 8:48, and then the next day it's 10:22, and next day is 7. What I just so you know what I do, I go to Roadview, and I write down all the hours for the next several days, like 8 days, so I know exactly what we're looking at. So when I get a load, I can tell you whether we're good on it. But all the recap hours are relatively pretty good.
The only one that I'm seeing hiccups on is let's see, tonight, tomorrow, day after, so that would be Saturday, Sunday. The only one that I'm seeing issues with is next Monday.
618, the 618 one.
Yeah, that one's you know, a little short. So
Yeah.
I mean, if we're able to get a load that has a little bit extra time where you can kind of play with your hours and maybe try and even it out a little bit across the board, I think we'd be pretty good to keep on rolling.
Yeah, yep. I like keeping. Well, yeah, man, you're really catching on to this thing. Coming from retail, are you kind of amazed that you're catching on to all this stuff?
A little bit, but I mean, I've always been kind of a fast learner. So I mean, the more hands-on experience I have, the more, you know, input from drivers that have been around the block and know how to, you know, run their clock and stuff like that. I've been learning a lot. You know?
Yeah, you learn from driver. That's what I'm trying to, not to be a know-it-all, but I'm just trying to pass on like the driver's point of view. So you know, it's like a game. I tell my friends that's like a Monopoly game. And you just
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
have to know the rules and how it works, and you have to keep playing the game. And then there's a point you kind of understand. And in fact, I just did a video. I'm starting to do training videos on my channel, like real corporate type of training videos. And one of the things I talked about is that, and I could even send you one and see what you think of it. But what I was talking about is, you know, you can teach students how to back up, how to fuel, you know, stuff that's fixed, you know, that you're going to do with your job. But the thing you have to learn on the fly is logbook and your hours,
Right.
because it's always going to be constantly changing. You can't.
Right, it's always, you know, case by case basis.
Yeah, exactly. And it's in the moment. You can kind of tell them some guidelines, you know, and some things that I do and this and this and that, but they have to learn that themselves. So it's probably the same boat for you too.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're trying to manage a bunch of drivers on top of it, man. How many drivers do you have now?
I'm up to 33.
33.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot for a new person.
Yeah, so if I don't get back to you right away, so I do apologize.
Oh no. I don't. I was only joking around. I can manage myself, and I'm usually not going to contact you. But no, man, gosh. Now, how many are new people?
So none of them are, only for the fact because all the new people up until they're ready to pretty much be on their own. They are on Jacob's board. So Jacob runs the trainer, trainee, and squires. So once they're done with I think it's 100,000 miles as a squire, that's when they're considered, you know, not a new person anymore, and then that's when they get distributed to other DMs.
Okay, and then is it true that, because I've noticed the new DMs, they try to give you experienced people so that it's not as hard for you because the guys manage themselves.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, it's been pretty easy for me in terms of that, with, you know, the luck of the drivers that I get. So I mean, there's a couple of wrenches that were thrown in there, so in that way I do understand how to handle some other things, rather than, you know, just planning a load and then committing it and then just going from there. I have two guys that are almost like how you were before the Winco dedicated, but they're strictly SoCal turns, and they're Monday through Friday, so I have to, you know, manage their time and figure out what works best to keep them productive, and then get them home on Fridays. And so and then they're flat daily pay, and so it's, you know, a bunch of different stuff thrown in there.
Yeah, I like being over the road. I feel I'm real comfortable doing this again. Once I'm back in the groove, I'm fine, you know.
Yeah,
I felt like
a lot better mentally too.
Yeah,
too, not stuck in the traffic all the time.
Well, you're stuck in the traffic, and then Winco, they were constantly canceling their loads, and this would change and that would change, and then I didn't know whether to get a load back to Phoenix. And I just in fact, you've done this load that you got me 2 Phoenix to Washington loads, you know, which is awesome. You know, and I was even on recap. I was even making a video and say, well, I've got only recap hours. I'm probably not going to be able to go very far. And then when I got this and I figured out the hours, and I thought I could actually go all the way up here with the recap hours, I was like, wow, that's majorly cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, Sharp, I probably shouldn't keep you, but we're in good shape. And and don't feel any pressure as far as getting me a load. You know, if you got one, great. You know, if you find out today, great. We'll just do what we have to do with what we have. You know.
All right. Well, if you want, what I could do after this, though, I could see if maybe there's something down to SoCal that after that we could jump over to Colorado and that at least do a 34 out there.
Oh yeah, wait, man, your music to my ears. You know,
I know it's your old stomp.
Yeah. It's a real treat if I can go there and even do an overnight or my home time. I'm even open to doing my home time out there. A couple days, get Airbnb for a couple days. Because it's a real treat for me because I have a ton of memories there, and then with my movies I can shoot movies there on location. You know.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you can figure something out like that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'll see what I could get figured out for you, and see what works with your recaps, and get you over there, and we'll do 34 2 days or something like that, and we'll hit the road from there.
Okay, sounds good, brother. Well, I appreciate your time, and you're catching on really fast. I'm really impressed. I'll keep telling Madeline every time I talk to her, Michael's doing a good job. You know.
All right, well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, I'll let you go. Have a good
Sounds
day.
Good. Give
Okay.
me a call if anything pops up.
Okay, take care, brother. Take care.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, this is Doug. I'm kind of winding down this video. I kind of doctored up the original one, add more music. And I hope, I don't know if it'll get through YouTube or let's say copyrighted or anything like that. I think it's kind of funky in a way when I think about it. This is my take on it. I'm not trying to make money I'm actually trying to promote stuff like that. I've never heard of that particular person, their music, who they are. I don't know who they are. But by putting them on the channel and showing the clips and stuff, I'm actually promoting them. And you may see their music, like the music, and buy their music, go their website, whatever. So, and I want to say that whomever this person is traveling around the bus, those buses are not cheap, you know. They could be like $1 million or so. So I give him credit. I don't know his story. I would guess that he may have humble beginnings and has a big vision and went for his vision and is living his vision and traveling and on tour and stuff. So I give him, a lot of credit. I almost knocked on his door, but it was really early in the morning. So kudos to him. I send him nothing but good vibes and energy, and I may never cross his path or his bus or whatever, but I just wanted to play a little of his music and say, check it out. I'll probably check it out too, because now it has a special meaning because I actually crossed paths on my road and put it on my channel. So anyway, that's why I put it out there. Anyway, I'm gonna close this video out. I've been downloading like crazy today. I'm gonna keep going. But I want to just wrap up and say a couple things. I just recorded a whole 34-minute talk, okay? And one of the things I said on the talk was this, and this is the truth, okay? If you're seriously considering driving a truck for Squire and going through truck driving school, and I heard Michael say that the Squire students, the Squire grasshoppers that go through the Squire program, even after they go through training and they get their truck themselves, they're not considered a certified night driver until you've driven 100,000 miles. You realize that's at least a solid 10 months, probably a year. So I recommend Squire just from more I hear, but I just didn't go through Squire because when I got started, full disclosure, I told you before, I had 3 years of experience. I was a trainer already. I had personally logged down approximately about 300,000 miles, 3 times what the requirement is to be a certified driver here. And now I've been here 9 more years. And if I add up the miles from my previous company in nights, about 1 million miles right now. So that's another whole conversation. But anyway, I'm gonna close this out. I'm gonna keep making the videos. Some are gonna be short, some are gonna be longer. But I mentioned in the talk, my point I'm just making is it was a long talk where I talked for 34 minutes, and what I said was the truth. If you can't listen to me give you golden nuggets and sit and listen to me for 34 minutes, you're not going to be able to go and get coached by a trainer or go through Squire or go through orientation, because you'll have to go through like 2 or 3 days of orientation in a classroom where you're listening to someone teach you what you need to do to work for night transportation. So if you can't listen to me for 30 minutes and really concentrate and have the desire to learn and be teachable and coachable, it's probably not the right profession for you, because you really you're gonna learn the foundation, but the truck driving itself, almost on a daily basis, is going to teach you something. It's going to be a silent teacher, but you have to be very humble, coachable. You have to have that fine edge between being humble, down to earth, but at the same time confident, kind of a little bit cocky. I've got this, because you can't drive timid when you're in Los Angeles. You'll find out someday if you end up driving a truck. Driving a car in Los Angeles is one thing. Driving a tractor and trailer through LA traffic or San Francisco or the Bay Area or wherever, if anything, I'll just wrap it up. I could talk another 30 minutes, okay? If all you want to do is grow as a person, it's like the reasons why maybe young men go into the military for 4 years or 5 years, to learn discipline and teamwork and to be a better person and have that experience of being in the military and traveling internationally. Truck driving, including the vision I have, has all of that in it, okay? So I'm not saying it's as good, or you should go into trucking or driving to Tokyo or night transportation in place of the military, but there's also a lot of military veterans that come to night transportation because it is like the military, okay? So I'm going to close this out. Thanks for watching. I'm going to mix it, download it. It'll be on YouTube soon. Thank you so much. I'm going to continue as long as I have daylight. And I'm going to be in Seattle tomorrow. My delivery is noon. And from there, we'll see what happens. I'm going to keep trucking.